and welcome to another episode of the Don't Get Me Going podcast. I have a lot of fun things in store today. We're going to do a mock draft because we are somehow 1 week away from the NFL draft. I'm going to the NFL draft, but before I get into anything else, I want to introduce you to Sean Duffy. First guest of the podcast, super excited. He's a Jaguars fan, so I don't know how he's a Jaguars fan. Who is a Jaguars fan? Are there any Jaguars fans out there other than you?
No, I don't think anyone exists.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
like just me.
You guys have what, like one Hall of Famer?
We've got Tony Bazzelli. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Okay. So Sean is in one of my Madison classes, and I couldn't help but have him on the podcast. He has some ball knowledge, so we're gonna do a mock draft, talk about some of the trending NFL news. Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show today, and then get into some Jaguars talk. But without further ado, let's get into the mock draft, or at least talk about draft predictions. I think it's a no-brainer that the Titans probably take Cam Ward. I don't know about
Yeah,
you,
that's set in stone. You see what he did on his stream too, where he was just like best running backs in the league. Tony
oh my
Pollard.
gosh, yeah. What he said? What Traylon Burks and Kelvin Ritter?
He put Traylon Burks in his top 5 wide receivers.
Yeah. What has Traylon? No offense to Traylon Burks, but what has he done in the league so far? I had high hopes for him, actually. Honestly,
he was supposed to replace AJ Brown, and now he's the best wide receiver 4 in the league. So.
Yeah, I know. That's actually insane. I do kind of feel bad for Traylon Burks, though. I thought he was going to be pretty solid, but he really hasn't done much since getting into the league. What has it been like? What, 3 or 4 years ago?
I think so. 3 or 4. Just over nothing.
Yeah, for real. Who do you have with the Browns at 2?
Probably Travis Hunter. I mean, they have a need for both,
I have Travis Hunter. I feel like especially now, it's been in the news, it's been in conversations a lot lately where I feel like it's Travis Hunter. But Abdul Carter, I feel like, is the number one prospect in the draft. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And then he's gonna fall to the Giants?
Yeah. I think Giants are taking him, especially after they got Russell Wilson. They could be like somewhat okay depending on how Russell Wilson plays for the Giants.
It'll be I'm gonna say like 6-11 season. That's my bet.
Yeah, I could see it. I'd still last in the division. I'd say that division is just super good, and I think the Cowboys could. They haven't done much, but I think depending on what they do in the draft could be at least decent. I really like Dak Prescott. I always say with Dak Prescott, I wanted the Bears to draft him as soon as I saw his highlights, and I was so sad that they didn't. And honestly, he's been a pretty solid quarterback in the league, so yeah, I was right about that.
He wouldn't get the amount of hate he gets if he was on the Bears.
I don't know. I mean, he might even get more hate. There hasn't been a single good quarterback on that team. I don't know.
Yeah, but he would be. I don't know. He's getting hate because he's Dak, because he's on the Cowboys.
On the Cowboys.
But if he was being serviceable on the Bears for a 4th round pick,
that is true. But who knows? He might not even be the Dak Prescott we know on the Bears. The Bears don't know how to develop a quarterback.
That's true.
I think if the Bears got Patrick Mahomes. That's the thing that frustrates me the most. Like, yes, Mitch Trubisky was a crazy draft pick at the time, but if we got Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he would have been much better.
No, I feel like they might have wasted his potential because he'll play on his own, right? Like outside of the coaching, and that wouldn't have been fostered well in a Bears environment.
No, exactly. And honestly, like I think Patrick Mahomes and Mitch Trubisky both weren't very pro football ready when they drafted them, so I just don't think it would have been. I mean, because Patrick Mahomes had such raw talent, and that's why he is as good as he is. But onto the Patriots. We were talking about this before, but I think Will Campbell is the way to go there. Yeah, I don't think they should have any other option other than offensive line there.
Yeah, either Will Campbell, maybe Armand.
Yeah,
but the whole O-line, like I think one of their starting right tackles. Never mind, that's the Jets, but no, their O-line is still very, very bad. So Will Campbell.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, especially, I mean, they got Stephon Diggs, and I think they should really try to protect Drake May as much as they can. So, no-brainer there, but your Jags are next, so who do you have your Jaguars taking?
I don't want to say what everybody's already thinking, but Mason Graham, Yeah,
I have Mason Graham.
If you thought Abdul Carter is like the number 1 player in the class, the only person to really contest that is Mason Graham or Travis Hunter. So, I mean, we'll take it, fill the need.
I think Mason Graham's really solid. If you were to go another position, I think that Will Johnson at cornerback. I mean, that might be slightly a reach at the spot they're at. It's like number 5?
Yeah, and I'm okay with like a trade back with like I've seen stuff where the Bears trade up and snag Ashton Genty under the Raiders. I don't know how you feel about that, but
I don't know. It depends on how much we give up because I'd prefer the Bears. I would like to see the Bears actually trade back, if anything, just to get a couple
yeah,
more picks.
it's a really deep class. I feel like Ben Johnson won't make a stupid decision like that, where they can just wait till the second round and get like.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like any running back other than Gianti in the top 10, I think, is slightly a reach. Like, obviously, Marion Hampton's good, but like
he's like late first round, like the 20s.
The Lions reached on now that we're seeing him, but reached on Jahmyr Gibbs when he was drafted, and he ended up being good. But like, I don't know.
Well, the Jaguars last draft traded back and still got Brian Thomas, so like.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
I mean,
I feel like if you know where the players are going to go, you can still get more capital.
There's always some weird things happening in the draft. Like there's always a reach or two for sure. Yeah. I have the Raiders taking Armand Membo. I don't know how to say it. I'm not gonna lie.
Genty.
His last name is tough. I don't know. There's been a lot of steam with Armand this past week. So, and obviously, I mean, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I'm a Bears fan. Like, come on.
And you want, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. He's the second. Obviously, it's between Armand and Ashton Gianti. So
like either way, yeah, whichever way the board falls. Like if the Raiders take Armand Membu, then somebody's going to take Genty, and then the Bears will probably get like Kelvin Banks. Or
I don't know. Kelvin Banks. Maybe I have Kelvin Banks even being a potential option for the Saints. Except I think the Saints are going to go quarterback.
I think they're going to either go Shador or they're going to take like Will Johnson or Jahdae Barron.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of steam with Tyler Warren for the Bears as well, tight end, just to get a second tight end. Except I think Cole Kmet is super underrated.
He's
No coach has used him correctly on the Bears. Like it's insane.
I would wait to draft a tight end. Just wait for Ben Johnson to work his little magic because that's what he did with Sam Laporta. And I think Cole Kmet's a better product.
I think Cole Kmet has the same amount of talent, if not more, than Sam Laporta. I think when the Bears got him involved last season, I mean they won. So yeah. Who do you have the Jets taking?
Well, I was gonna say Armand Membu, but now I gotta think. I think at this point we might as well give him Tyler Warren.
Yeah, that's who I have.
Off the board. Tyler Warren would be the next.
I have Tyler Warren for sure. I did a couple mock drafts. I did have Will Campbell falling to them at one point, but I don't know if that's gonna happen because I also had Mason Graham and another one falling to him. That's falling to them, but I don't know. I don't think you'd be very happy about that.
No.
But yeah, no, Membu is a good option there if he wasn't taken by the Raiders, but we'll see. Tyler Warren, I think, is the way to go for sure, though, like you said. For the Panthers, I have Jalen Walker.
If not that's Jalen been the popular pick. Makes the most sense.
I mean, if not Jalen Walker, I'd say like Michael Williams then too or something. I don't know.
You can't go wrong with a Georgia player on defense.
Yeah. So. Yeah, for real. Both rushers too. Who do you have for the Saints? You said Sanders?
I was going to say, Shador.
That's who I have too. I have them taking Sanders, especially with the Derek Carr.
Yeah, there's a good chance Shador will start at some point in his rookie because it's just him and Spencer Rattler, really.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler got to play already too, and we saw how he played. He wasn't horrible, but he definitely was not where they want to go with it, I would say.
And Shador was even comped to like Jalen Hurts a couple times with like a less mobile Jalen Hurts. Just does what he needs to. He'll make plays, but he's just a good passer.
Yeah. Well, for the Bears, if Ashton Gianti and Tyler Warren are gone, I'd probably say Kelvin Banks is an option. Or actually, even Michael Williams.
Take some heat off Montez Sweat.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Michael Williams there. Just as another Georgia option. Georgia is always like you can't go wrong with the Georgia defensive player.
As long as you don't put them behind the wheel of a car, they'll be great.
Yeah, please keep them away, for sure. I mean, Jalen Carter didn't stop him though. Not that it's hard to predict trades, but I do have the Bears as a trade candidate. If we're in the situation where Michael Williams is one of the guys they have to go for, I think their favorites are, if all their favorites are off the board, which, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not in their front office, but if Warren and Gianti are both gone, I think I could see them as possibly trading down or maybe even trading up before one of those guys are taken.
Yeah. Yeah, if the Patriots sag Mason Graham too, Jaguars will trade with anybody
Mm.
because our new GM was he wasn't the GM, but he was working with the GM for the Rams.
Mm.
So there's definitely a lot of hope, and he's traded back in the past. He's traded up. He knows his stuff. So
For sure, for sure. Who do you have for the Niners?
Niners, somebody already take Will Johnson. Somebody took Will Johnson, right?
Ooh, no, that was a second option. I didn't take Will Johnson. We took Mason Graham for the.
Yeah, no, Will Johnson to the 49ers. Charvarius Ward left. Talanoa Hufanga left. So that whole
I
backside's
could
not.
even put McMillan there at wide receiver, maybe, possibly.
It depends on how good they or like how much faith they have in Ricky Pearsall.
That's true. He wasn't
Because
horrible
right
last
now it's
season, though.
just
I'd like to see that play out.
yeah.
I have Amarion Hampton going to the Cowboys.
Ooh,
So
that is okay. As unreasonable as that sounds, that does seem like a Jerry Jones thing to do.
I think Jerry Jones has fallen in love with Amarion Hampton. Like as we're speaking, it's happening. You know, I,
Yeah,
yeah. They need a running back. They need a
they
running back bad.
desperately need a running back. What is it?
If
Deuce
if
Vaughn and Javonte
Yeah,
Williams.
and honestly, if it's not the Cowboys that take Amarion Hampton, I think he can fall to the Broncos at 20.
Yeah,
Broncos need
that's
a
what I
running back
usually have
bad as
there.
well. They lost Javante, so
Mhm.
yeah. So I'll take Amarion Hampton for the Cowboys.
I like that pick.
Who do you have for the Dolphins?
There's a couple different paths we can go. I was either going to do Colston Loveland or Malachi Starks. I think it's a little early for Colston Loveland and a little bit better for Malachi Starks
Yeah,
because they're going to get rid of Jalen Ramsey too. Not to mention they lost Javon
that's
Holland in
true.
free
We got
agency.
Barron though too that you could take a cornerback from
Yeah,
Texas.
I don't know. I feel like Malachi Starks was already viewed as like a I don't want to say generational, but like a solid
That's
prospect at
true.
safety.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
But
I actually had Colston Loveland going to the Colts, so
yeah, I like that.
yeah, I mean, the Colts need a tight end. Honestly, Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren are both really good prospects at tight end.
Hmm.
I think some people even have them interchangeable. I wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah,
that's definitely an option. I think Colston Loveland is a good option for the Colts there, no matter who they have at quarterback. If they start Daniel Jones or start Anthony Richardson, we'll see. Speaking of quarterbacks, though, I really do think that more quarterbacks can go in the first round than we expect. Like, obviously, we have Sanders and Cam Ward. Both are probably going to go in the first, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson Dart and
hmm
Jalen Milroe both sneak into the first round as well.
yeah. Jalen Milroe's the real shocker. I can see Jackson Dart going to a couple of crazy teams. I don't think he's a fit for the Steelers per se. I feel like Jalen Milroe would be a better fit for the Steelers, but we'll
Yeah,
get there.
I could agree with that. I think the Steelers. I mean, I guess I don't need to get ahead of myself, but I see the Steelers taking a quarterback in the first round. Whether they trade up before like the Saints or something, I don't know, but I'll get into it later with Aaron Rodgers situation. But if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, they're kind of screwed unless they draft someone. So yeah, I think Mike Tomlin is like kind of fallen in love with Shador Sanders,
Yeah.
from what I've heard. I mean, obviously, I don't know actually, but
And he'll fall. If he doesn't get picked up by the Saints, he will fall that far.
yeah, that's true. Who do you have the Falcons taking?
I'm going to give him Mike Green. No, I'm kidding. Jackson Dart.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Mike
I,
Green.
I was
They
like,
finally
okay,
get
you know what, Sean, you go for it. have
no.
have
They can't do it back to back years.
Michael Penix and
That was
Jackson Dart.
that was I can even see the Steelers trading for Kirko, but that's also for
Oh,
later.
I forgot about Kirk Cousins. I could see. I don't know. The Browns have been in talks with him too.
Mhm.
I mean, it would. I don't know what other teams would really be looking for a quarterback or be that desperate for one other than the Steelers or Browns.
Yeah.
In that situation, so.
But yeah, no, Falcons are going Mike Green because they're 4 years too late on getting an edge rusher.
Yeah, they also just got rid of Garrett Wilson, Grady Jarrett. Whoa,
Yeah.
I don't know what I was saying there. But Grady Jarrett, he just went to the Bears, and obviously he's getting a little older, but he's definitely still effective
Mhm.
and just influences the defense in general. So getting another guy on the defensive line could definitely help. I think I took Kelvin Banks earlier for the Bears, right?
Yeah.
I have them going McMillan at wide receiver, pairing him up with Marvin Harrison for the Cardinals.
Ooh, I like that. There's also the possibility of a trade back, depending on
That's true. I
who
mean,
they
we're
want
at
at the
the
D
point,
line.
yeah. Yeah.
It's Jonathan Gannon as their head coach, and he likes his. He hasn't been able to get it yet because of various injuries and whatnot, but he likes his D lines,
That's
as
true.
you saw with the Eagles on their first
That
Super Bowl
is
run.
true.
But no, I think he's gonna look for somebody big like Shamar Turner too, or Shamar Stewart, excuse me.
Shamar Stewart, for sure. That's an option. Shamar Stewart, yeah. I don't know. Who do you have the Bengals taking?
Just whoever, like an edge that's available. Who do we have left? I
I
gotta
don't
think.
even. We have. I need to look. What the heck? Derek Harmon and Kenneth Grant, I think, are the final two left.
What other needs do they have? Because right now the edge category is looking pretty empty. Maybe just retool their offensive line.
Edge, I mean,
Grab like
yeah.
Josh Simmons or something.
This is for the Bengals, right?
Or like Gray Zabel even. That might work.
That's true. I know, like, honestly,
They need
anything
defense.
on the defensive side of the ball would work for the Bengals. Like, you got Barron at cornerback still.
He's still give him Jada Barron.
Jahad Campbell at linebacker. He's like the one top linebacker in the draft right now. I think it's a pretty small class for the high rated linebackers this year.
I'm gonna give him Jada Barron. He's just best player available at this point.
Yeah, I could see that. I could agree with that. Seahawks next. Whoa, am I wrong?
I like Gray Zabel here.
I know. I was thinking Gray Zabel, or I can see them looking at Josh Simmons even.
I don't hate that.
The offensive lineman at Ohio State, but Gray Zabel I think is probably the way to go there. If not, maybe going safety. I'll take Gray Zabel for the Seahawks though.
Yeah.
Bucks next.
Who's up there right now that's still available?
I think one of their top needs I'd say is a linebacker, right? Jihad Campbell.
I think we just give him
that.
That might be the best bet. Get mentored by Levante David. Become a starter for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I mean if not, then you just yeah. If not that, I mean most teams at this point could use one of the offensive linemen still available, or even one of the edge rushers coming up. What is it, Broncos next?
Oh, I think so.
My top candidates for the Broncos are honestly both taken. I would say maybe Matthew Golden, just get another weapon for
Bo Nix.
I think that could be helpful. They did just get Evan Ingram at tight end.
And I'm still mad about that, by the way. Oh my God.
I can't believe that you guys cut him.
I liked Evan Ingram. He was a better Travis Kelce though, because he could not block.
Evan Ingram.
We definitely could have got a trade out of him though, is what I'm saying.
I know that's surprising when you got
if we traded
Long, you guys signed Hunter Long and
Hunter Long, Johnny Munt, whoever that is.
You got two solid guys, but they're not Evan Ingram.
And if we trade back in the first round, we'll get Hunter or Tyler Warren.
Oh shoot, that's true. That is true.
I don't know. There's just
there's two top tight ends in the draft class this year. Like you could go that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys getting rid of Evan Ingram is a tough.
We definitely, if we traded Christian Kirk, we definitely could have traded Evan Ingram.
That's true. No, that's surprising to me too. Except Christian Kirk had a huge contract, so getting rid of that contract and then getting Dgmg Brown and just Dgmg Brown, Gabe Davis, and Brian Thomas. I think that's honestly a pretty solid trio.
Depends on Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis is a good deep threat.
He's a good deep threat, and Trevor only just hucks that John down the field.
I need to get your opinion on Trevor later. I'm really curious what you think of him. Like the final guy in that from that 20
yeah
2021
draft? 21
yeah. I'll take Matthew Golden at receiver for the Broncos, getting them another weapon for Bo Nix.
Because who do they have? It's Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton is the only guy I can think of. There's got to be another guy, but
there's Devon Vele and Marvin Mims, but
was Tim Patrick on the team?
No, he went to the Lions.
Yeah, he's off the team now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they definitely need another wide receiver there, especially if Amarian Hampton is gone at that point.
Yeah.
Who do you have the Steelers taking, and then Jackson Dart?
I don't like Jackson Dart for them. I think depending on if like I don't want to give him another receiver because they got DK and they got George Pickens, but like somebody shifty like Emeka Egbuka, which kills me as a partial Packers fan, or like Luther Burden even. Just somebody that can go underneath for the two deep threats.
Yeah.
And then just like trying to win with who's that? Mason Rudolph.
That's true. Okay. I like that.
Because Mason Rudolph looked competitive 2 years ago when Kenny Pickett got hurt.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy that got hurt?
There's
Mitch
a lot
Trubisky.
of guys that got, yeah, Mitchell Trubisky. I love Mitchell Trubisky. I have a special place in my heart for him.
And his potential.
I did love him. The Bears got no thank you from that social media team. They thank every single player except Mitchell Trubisky on social media. We're still looking for that thank you. For the Chargers, I mean, my top 3 candidates again for the Chargers are both taken. For
Kenneth Grant. They're going to take
draft.
Kenneth Grant because he's from Michigan.
That's what I was going to say. Like, Kenneth Grant is the next option. So I would say the Chargers take Kenneth Grant. I like that, though. I mean, yeah, pairing him back up with Harbaugh. So.
Or they could get aggressive in a trade up depending on where Colston Loveland falls.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like with these teams, but all of my candidates that I have for them taking, like Steelers, Chargers, possible trade candidates, Seahawks. I think all of them could go for a trade possibly.
For sure.
Who do you have for the Packers?
Well, there's a reason I said Luther Burden for the Steelers because I want the Packers to take Emeka Egbuka. I really want them to.
I actually had Matthew Golden might even be there potentially. I had in the first mock draft I did. That's who I had them taking.
I don't mind that. There's also a small part of me that thinks Matthew Golden's going to go to Dallas over, even if Tet's on the board. But no, I just
see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I just think Emeka's a dog. He's got because like the Packers like love their 9 point something out of 10 on that athletic score.
Yeah,
they love their athletes. And Emeka's done that. He's produced however many. He's got, I think him and Marvin Harrison are the only people with like multiple 1,000-yard seasons at Ohio State. Some crazy stat, but.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. Yeah. For the Vikings, I have them taking Derek Harmon.
I don't hate that. Yeah.
Last edge rusher on the board. That is first round grade. Maybe I'm missing someone. I don't know.
Just either that but it's like it's a little early for like that second wave of corners, like maybe that kid from Kentucky, maybe that
I'm blanking on his name right now, but
Hairston.
Maybe okay. Yeah, what's yeah. No, I like that. Where is the second safety, Nick? What do you know? Do you know his last name? Emanwari. Yeah, I mean Nick Emanwari could also go to the Vikings. I could see that as a safety option. And Harrison Smith's getting insanely old.
Yeah, he's like 34 or something.
I feel like
ridiculous.
He's been in the league for like my whole life.
Yeah. No, I like Emanwari too because he's an athletic freak.
Emanwari, like yes, Starks is the top option at safety this season or in this draft, but I do like Nick Emanwari.
He has the opportunity, especially in is Brian Flores still the DC?
Yeah.
He'll do good in that scheme.
Dude, Brian Flores is a mastermind on defense.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%. Who do you have the Texans taking?
Anybody available on the offensive line. Literally anyone.
I'm trying to look.
Is Josh Simmons still there?
I forget. Did I take Josh Simmons for someone else? I don't remember. He might still be available. I know I mentioned him earlier, but I honestly...
Oh, no, because it was the Seahawks, and they went for Zabel.
We got Tyler Booker as like the last guy standing.
Yeah, it's they need everything on the offensive line. That's an insane strategy by the Texans, though. Like... You lost your O-line was the reason you lost games.
They literally were one of the worst offensive lines last season, and then traded their best offensive lineman for nothing.
4th and a 6th, like
CJ Stroud struggled last season because of the offensive line, and obviously like they have been super unlucky with injuries on the defensive for receivers as well. Honestly, all over their team, they had quite a few injuries, but
I don't know. That was funny because in the Super Bowl, the amount of pressure Mahomes faced on his dropbacks, like in the Super Bowl, was less than how many Stroud faced on average this season. So
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny where
Or
he's
look
putting
at
up
what
like,
Caleb Williams faced last season.
I feel so. He don't
Hey,
deserve that.
no, they fixed it for him already though.
Oh yeah, Bears back to back to back offseason winners.
No, straight up, but like, what has it gotten them?
Exactly.
Like, tell
I don't
me,
know.
please.
It's gonna be different this year.
The three-peat champions. Can we switch that to the Super Bowl, please? I'm convinced that the Bears would have won the Super Bowl in 2018 if it hadn't been for Cody Parkey.
They looked good. Cody
Yeah, I
Parkey
mean,
just
we beat the Rams. The Rams were one of the top dogs in that postseason, and I think we could have beat the Saints. And I don't remember who made the Super Bowl that year.
2018, 2017. 2017, I think, was a Patriots year, if I'm not mistaken.
It wasn't the Eagles won the year before, right?
Or maybe it was the Eagles. No, yeah, it was the Patriots.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I think we could have beat the Patriots too.
Yeah. Oh, was that the Falcons?
Ooh,
Oh
was
my,
that?
yeah, that was
No,
2018.
the Falcons had to have been no. The
2017.
Falcons had to have been before that. I need to look this up. Look that up.
2018, yeah.
Okay.
Oh shoot, did the Eagles? Was that the year the Eagles won it? Yeah, the Eagles won it, and they lost to the Eagles.
That's the year before the Eagles won.
That's
okay.
insane.
Damn. Okay. I'm still convinced. I like remember that day like it was yesterday, and it's because the Bears don't go to the playoffs very often, so it's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will change. And then what? The next season we had a blowout loss to the Saints, or a loss to the Saints, and then that was the end of Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'd say the Rams would take Nick Emanwari.
Nope. Rams are taking Jackson Dart. This is where I have Jackson Dart going.
You really do have.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually haven't thought about that, but I could definitely see it.
I always have the Rams like in the running for like a sneaky quarterback. Like if one of the quarterbacks last year fell to the Rams, God forbid you go 6 in the first 12 picks.
Honestly, yeah, letting Jackson Dart sit behind Matthew Stafford too.
Oh yeah,
I think that could definitely work out.
I have Matthew Stafford in my top 20 quarterbacks of all time. He's still got maybe 3-4 years ahead of him.
I mean, honestly, he's like that top dog quarterback just for the fact that like he plays through injury. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks out there.
Except for Jay Cutler, I will say. Jay Cutler was a dog.
Yeah. Give him that.
I miss watching him play.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I got Walter Nolan or Tyler Booker. Defensive line or offensive line for the Ravens. I got Walter Nolan, though, above him for the Ravens at defensive line.
Yeah.
Edge rusher.
I like that pick.
Yeah.
Freaky athlete.
For sure. Who do you have for the Lions?
I think I would give him Tyler Booker. Didn't Kevin Zeitler just leave?
Ooh, yeah, you're right. He did. I forget what team he went to, but yeah.
Sweet.
I could see that. Patching that up right away. I'm really curious to see how the Lions play. I mean, obviously, like, they still have Dan Campbell, but getting rid of not having Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson anymore.
All of their coaches.
Like, that's literally, they're both their play callers. Like, the whole offense and defense are both going to be different. I don't care what you say. That is going to impact the team. Like, there's a reason why Amon-Ra has been talking about Ben Johnson constantly on his podcast.
I think they're taking a step back.
For sure.
I don't think the Vikings are going to – I think the Vikings are taking a step back as well because it's J.J. McCarthy's basically his rookie year.
Yeah.
So that leaves the Packers and the Bears. And honestly, it really could go either way. It depends on how fast Ben Johnson turns that culture around.
That's the thing. It depends on the coaching. But I'm convinced if the coaching was better last season, the Bears would have been pretty damn good. And that the division in general is really tough. So, like, there's 6 games in that division against, like, 3 top 10, top 5 teams in the league to start the season. I don't know, that could change, obviously, but yeah, like that division is insane. I think the Bears, out of all the bottom teams from last year, I think they have one of the better odds to go from worst to first in the division. Especially, they have the talent, and honestly, last year they showed they had the talent. The fact that they were in that many close games for Matt Eberflus to mess up that many games is pretty
Hey, he still
impressive.
has his timeout though.
He has that timeout, and
He brought it with him.
where did he go?
I
What
think he
his
went to
defense coordinator?
Dallas.
Dallas, yeah. He's giving that timeout to Dallas.
Exactly.
Dallas needs it.
Marketing.
Yeah, for sure. I think Dallas can use that timeout for a lot.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Commanders?
Commanders, I have James Pierce going to the Commanders. That's like the
I like
final
that.
edge rusher.
I like
I
that.
mean, there's a lot of this is a deep class for edge rushers.
Edge rushers and running backs.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
low-key receiver.
receivers, I mean, it's not last
I
year,
think it's
though.
but no, it's just I don't want to say it's top heavy. It's top heavy in like the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Who do you have the Bills taking?
You already took Derek Harmon, right? And then
we're pretty much
pretty skim on interior.
Pretty skim.
I gotta think. Maybe like I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like Azaria Thomas.
Yeah.
They actually re-signed Tre'Davious White today.
Did they actually?
Yeah, it was like not even $7 million.
Okay.
But
I forgot about that. Yeah. I think it's crazy the fact that like even Stephon Gilmore, like he's still in the league. These top players can go from like making like 20 mil a year to all of a sudden just like being one of those bottom like veteran cornerbacks or whatever position they are. But I feel like I've seen it a lot with the cornerbacks, like
Aaron Rodgers too. It's getting
Aaron
there.
Rodgers. No, I mean, I think that honestly that's partly because of him. He's a drama queen.
A little bit.
Maybe slightly. If what he said on the Pat McAfee show was true, though, the way they kind of like told him. Did you hear the Pat McAfee show?
We'll get there. We'll get
there. We'll get
there.
there. You're right.
We have 2 picks.
I can't get ahead of myself. I can't. Don't get me going. Name of my podcast, right? Okay. Who did you take for the Bills?
Oh, Azaria Thomas? He's from Florida State, cornerback.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I got that. I got you. Okay. I have, for some reason, for the Chiefs, I got Josh Connerly going to the Chiefs. I'm liking it.
Hold on. I gotta think. Because isn't Matthew Golden still on the board? I think I screwed up my Bills pick.
Nah, I took Matthew Golden forever ago. Don't worry.
Okay.
I forget who I took him with, but he's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that just leaves the Eagles and...
Eagles.
Doesn't matter at this point. I think
Defensive
probably going to take somebody. Yeah, exactly. They're taking somebody in the trenches. Best player available.
If you're in doubt, take someone in the trenches, and I think you're betting well. Yeah. But yes, I agree. I think they could be a trade candidate too if someone wants to trade back into the first round towards the end. If there's a guy lingering there, I think the one thing we have wrong on this whole thing that I think almost everyone has wrong on a mock draft is that one of these top guys are gonna fall to the second round because it always happens, and there's gonna be a couple of reaches, but that's impossible to predict. So
yeah,
I think we're doing pretty good with this mock draft. I'm liking it. Let's get into the Aaron Rodgers talk, though. I feel like I've talked about him before, and I've talked about the fact that him wanting to go to the Vikings is simply the fact that he wants to follow in Brett Favre's footsteps. He wants to make a show out of it.
I was really hoping he would.
Oh, I would love to see that. I honestly would have liked to see it. As a football fan first, it's hard to say it. Like, obviously, yes, I'm a Bears fan, but as a football fan, that would have been entertaining to see.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been nice to see. But honestly, I'm really excited to see J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings. So I think it's his time to shine. I'm liking it.
I have mixed feelings about J.J. McCarthy. I feel like he wasn't the right. I didn't think he was that good. I thought he was a winner, but he was never asked to do anything.
I do agree with you. However, I'm just excited to see him play. I don't know. I want to see.
And it's Kevin O'Connell's offense, so.
I mean, that's the thing. Any quarterback's going to be good in Kevin O'Connell's offense. That's the type of guy you want running a team.
You're just going to be thrown into Jettas or Jordan Addison or TJ Hawkinson, and then you can just hand it off to Aaron Jones. Like, seriously. I can run that offense.
Yeah, come on. That's why. I mean, honestly, I'm curious to see how Sam Darnold does even with the Seahawks. The Seahawks went from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, and then got rid of DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
But they got Cooper Kupp, so that's a win for
I'm
them.
picturing 7-10 for them.
I think what the Rams are doing, getting rid of Cooper Kupp and then getting Devontae Adams, is a little strange. They're around the same age. I don't think they're both super talented. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, especially like Cooper Kupp already knows the offense. Devontae has to learn it, so I'm kind of questioning that. It was for one season, I think. I thought that was a little bit weird of a signing, honestly.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, you're getting Devontae, right?
It's true.
But like,
that's true.
I don't know. I feel like Cooper Kupp's fall off is a little bit steeper than Devontae's, because you've seen Devontae still clean up on some of those routes.
I mean, but Cooper Kupp was hurt. That's the thing. Like, I think he could still do all of those things.
Yeah, but like Devontae doesn't get hurt.
That's true.
So.
But yeah, back to Aaron Rodgers. I think the main bet for me still obviously is the Steelers, but he kind of seems apprehensive about like saying he's going to go to the Steelers.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels off.
It's kind of a good chance to me now that I feel like he might retire even.
Yeah.
He sounded like he didn't want to go to the Steelers today.
He doesn't seem like a Steelers quarterback.
I know, that's the thing too. I mean, they do have some legendary quarterbacks on that team in their history, but I don't know. Having Aaron Rodgers on a team with George Pickens and DK Metcalf might be a little toxic.
Imagine if Shador got drafted there, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd feel bad for any rookie quarterback going to that team with those receivers. I don't know.
You run the ball and they're just like fighting people 50 yards down the field.
They're running off the field.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for real.
That's also kind of wanted to see Shador go to the Giants. Just I want to hear those pregame huddles, Like I want to hear Jameis go off. I want to hear Russ get all like this is for the Lord. And then I want to hear Shador like playing perfect timing, right?
Yeah, I like it. I
feel like that'd be a good quarterback hype up.
I like it. I like that dream, that memory or prediction. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do you have anything else to say about Aaron Rodgers? I don't know.
I wish he would have went to the Vikings because it was only for $10 million. He said it for $10 million,
he just wants to win. However, he wants to win because he was incapable of winning with the Packers.
Yeah, wants to do it in spite of the Packers.
But the Packers are a whole nother conversation because they did not help him a single time when he was with them. Mm-hmm. They haven't drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
I think since like 2003 or something.
Since like 2003, and since their GM, they've only signed 2 receivers in free agency, and it was Devin Funchess and Sammy Watkins.
Devin Funchess as a Packer is insane.
I know. I kind of forgot about that. I really thought Devin Funchess was going to be good.
He was doing good, and then he wasn't. And
yeah, it's questionable.
What could have been?
It's what could have been for sure. Sammy Watkins was honestly like okay for you guys for a little, or for the Packers for a little while.
He was all right.
Wasn't bad.
They signed him, and then Alan Lazard just stepped up, and that was it. I haven't heard from Alan Lazard in a minute. What happened to him? He's still on the Jets, but
I think he might be leaving the Jets.
I don't know. He's a peculiar fellow. He's good. He's just irrelevant now, I guess.
That's true. Let's move on to the Jaguars. I want to hear your thoughts on Liam Cohen first and foremost.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm excited. Not excited about that, but it's always the weird coaches that are geniuses. Like Mike McDaniel, he's a little weird guy, but he had the best offense in football for a year.
I mean, he has 1 year play calling experience though. Like that's like maybe slightly concerning.
Yeah, but you saw what they did. They turned Bucky Irving into a prime LaDainian Tomlinson. They turned Mike Evans missed half the season, still had 1,000 yards. Jalen McMillan became God.
That's true.
So I'm hoping they'll do that with Parker Washington. He's not getting enough action. It kills me because he's got so much potential.
Yeah.
I like it because we can put BTJ as our Mike Evans. We could put Gabe Davis as our Chris Godwin, or if we draft somebody else, I don't know. Gabe Davis is just going to be like run 50 yards and catch the ball. And then we could turn Jalen McMillan, or we could turn Parker Washington into our Jalen McMillan. And then same thing. But no, and then we've got two good running backs. Like Tank Bigsby can be like Rashad White. And then Travis Etienne can stop being a little girl and run the ball well.
Yeah, I was surprised by Travis Etienne. I had high hopes for him last season.
I had high hopes for him too, in fantasy and in regular football.
Oh my God. Did you draft him in fantasy football?
I did, and I held on to him the entire season just in case.
I'm trying to forget. This might sound absolutely insane after the year Jahmyr Gibbs had, but no, it wasn't Jahmyr Gibbs. I was debating between him and Jonathan Taylor.
Oh.
In fantasy football.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor picked up at the end.
I did take Jonathan Taylor instead, but
dude, as soon as he fumbled outside the end zone, he went on a tear.
Oh my God, but you know what? That would have won me the game if he did that. If he didn't fumble and do that. I was doing so good in fantasy football last season until it came to the playoffs. I had 3 losses total.
Damn.
Yeah, and then I lost. I lost in the first round of the playoffs, so I didn't cook. Not at all.
I had a friend. I don't know who it was. It might have been like George Pickens or something.
Yeah.
But no, he just didn't perform, and he was like, that just lost me my. He was the 1 seed and everything. Just.
What lost me the league was having 2 good quarterbacks. I had Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow, and I played the wrong one. I played the wrong one.
Just trade one, so you don't ever have to worry about that, though.
I had Lamar Jackson at the beginning of the season, and then I traded Lamar Jackson. I forget who I traded him for. It was worth it. Trust me, it was worth it trading Lamar Jackson. I got who was it? It was a running back I got. Oh, I got J.K. Dobbins. I had No. I had J.K. Dobbins and there was one other player. I'm forgetting who I got. I don't know. But it was a worth it decision. I had J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs at running back. Like, of course, J.K. Dobbins just ended up getting out at the end of the season, which kind of.
That's not bad. He was doing good.
Yeah, I mean, but I had 3 total losses and then kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah.
So. I was in 3 leagues though. That was my only league I did good in. The other 2, I kind of failed.
Yeah. These things happen.
Yeah.
I need to find more leagues.
We should start a league. We should find people to start a league.
Okay. We'll just do it with our class.
Oh my God. Do you realize how fun that would be?
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun.
I would.
However, I've played a league with like friends that don't know as much about football, and they've like won the entire league. So like, it's not out of the question.
Because they picked on the mascot, right? Or they picked the fun-sounding name.
I don't even remember. They might have just picked like based off who, like their looks, the players' looks. I don't know.
These things happen.
The ESPN app kind of helps out though.
Yeah.
They got it.
That's what I use, but.
Yeah. Back to the Jaguars, though. Did you hear that they aren't doing any top 30 visits for the draft?
I don't know how to feel about that. It means they're either set on Mason Graham or they're set on somebody.
Or they're trying to be different.
What is the culture setter with that, though? It's just... I don't know. It literally just means they're picking 2 people, and these 2 people would have done amazing at the combine. Like Armand Membu, that's who I'm thinking. And then just... Mason Graham.
I don't know. I think Mason Graham is almost a lock at the Jaguars unless something crazy in the first 4 picks happens.
Yeah. I could see them taking Armand. I won't say it's a lock. I will say they could take Armand Membu. Just because do you like
Will Campbell or Armand Membu more? If you had a choice between those 2 players,
Armand
who
Membu.
would you take?
Armand Membu. Yeah. We signed Jordan Lewis. We still have Jerry Jones. So we could put Tyson Campbell and Jerry Jones on the outside. Even though Jerry Jones played mostly nickel, he's still a good outside corner. And then we can put Jordan Lewis at nickel because that's where he normally played with the Cowboys.
I'm liking it.
And then safeties, we have Eric Murray, excuse me. And I don't know who our other safety is. It might just be Andrew Wingard, who sucks, but he's so lovable. He's got a fun mullet. Yeah. I don't know. We had a good safety duo of Rayshon Jenkins and Andre Sisco, and then now they're just gone. So.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I like your guys' position. I mean, what, like 2022, you guys were in first place. So these last like 2-3 years, you guys went downhill a little bit with Doug Peterson. I think Liam Cohen, he definitely has potential. I think people are making fun of Liam Cohen too much. Like, wasn't he one of the top head coaching options heading into the
Yeah,
offseason, and then all of a sudden he dropped
absolutely.
off?
Like he was literally the second best in my
Yeah.
opinion because
Um,
one, you don't want to hire defense for the most
I
part.
don't know. Mike
For the
Vrabel
most
has
part,
a really solid atmosphere.
that's what I'm saying. Mike Vrabel and
And Ben
Dan Quinn.
Johnson. He's like third. I'd say Liam Cohen could have been third. But Pete Carroll, Pete Carroll's proven himself though too.
I didn't know he was even a candidate until he got
Yeah,
hired.
it became later, so you could say that. Yeah,
But
I don't know.
no, I thought he was the second best available. I really wanted Ben Johnson.
I know, I wanted him too. Yeah, you guys had some steam with Ben Johnson right before he signed with the Bears too. Oh, that was good. That was too good.
Yeah. But no, it's okay. He'll get the most out of Trevor's ridiculous contract.
I need to know your opinion on Trevor Lawrence.
He's good. He's not 55 a year good.
He's not like franchise changing like he was thought to be when
I think he's closer to Brock Purdy than he is to like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
In terms of attractiveness though. Closer to Joe Burrow.
I don't know.
Closer to Joe Burrow. He's got the hair.
Yeah, but like Joe Burrow, have you seen his eyes?
No, I don't look into a man's eyes. No, Trevor's got the hair. He kind of looks like Jar Jar Binks.
Have you seen the memes where like you turn the football players into like female versions of themselves and he looks exactly the same?
He doesn't change. It's ridiculous.
He does not change.
But
that's how good his hair is.
It's actually, yeah. It's literally just you add 2 more inches down here and that's it.
Yeah, straight up. No, but overall, I do think you're free. Like, you guys aren't in a bad position. You guys did lose Evan Ingram, but Diami Brown is a solid, like, 3 at receiver.
I like it.
If you guys go deep, you guys just need to upgrade your defense.
Yeah. We should take somewhere in, like, the first 4 rounds. I'm assuming we're taking Mason Graham at 5. We would need to get like a Mason Taylor, Harold Fannin Jr., one of those tight ends, offensive line, just whoever's available, probably in round 2. I feel like round 2 would be the safest bet. Like a Josh Connerly could fall to us.
Yeah.
And then maybe just like another DB. I want to get a wide receiver later. I don't think we should take a running back. Just because we could probably
Etienne like another get a guy.
We might trade Etienne at the deadline though.
Okay, if you do that though, you get the running back class is super deep. Like I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, I want like a Caleb Johnson. I feel like he gets so underappreciated.
Yeah,
we trade from 3 into 2 to grab him.
Yeah,
but I don't know how much we want to give up because we have 10 picks. So.
I did not know you guys had that many picks. Holy.
It's from the Vikings trade back from last year, so.
Okay, damn. Nice. Good for you. Yeah, I think you guys could go worst to first, or not worst to first, my bad. You guys have potential to go worst to first in the division, I'd say. I think the Texans might be slightly vulnerable depending on what happens with them.
There's a chance CJ Stroud's just going to get hurt because he's going to get his crap rocked by DeForest Buckner coming up the middle.
I could see something like that happening. And there's not a lot of competition in the division. The Colts don't have a quarterback right now. The Titans don't have a quarterback right now. It's open. It's open for sure.
Yeah.
Except the yeah. It's possible. It could happen. You guys have been pretty close to 500 the last few years, other than last year. So obviously, because you guys are top 5 picks, but
I'm still mad about that.
I don't know. Not including your divisional games, your home stretch. You got the Chiefs, Chargers, Rams, Seahawks.
Oh, this season.
Panthers.
This season is doable. I don't know.
It's doable depending on how the Chiefs are going to be hard. The Chargers are going to be hard. The Rams are possibly. They're a playoff team last year.
Rams might. Yeah, Rams will.
Depending on how Sam Darnold plays, the Seahawks might be decent as well. And then the away team, you got the Cardinals, Bengals, 49ers, Raiders, and Broncos. it's not an easy schedule, but it's not like horrible either.
Yeah, we did have a tough one last year. I don't mind it. We'll probably be like 7-10, I think.
Yeah.
Let's say we'll beat the Titans easily once, beat the Colts easily once. I don't know about the Titans or the Texans. Let's say we win 3 conference games though. Right? That seems reasonable. Chiefs, let's say no. Chargers, let's say no. Rams, no. Seahawks, I'm going to lean yes. Jets, I'm also going to lean yes.
I could say, and then say yes to Panthers. So
Panthers, I can lean yes. Panthers could go either way, but kind of same with Jets. So let's say we win one of those. We're already at 6 wins. Cardinals, we can beat the Cardinals. Bengals, probably not.
Depends
Niners,
on the defense. I mean,
yeah. But at the same time,
that might
Trevor's
just be a
not
higher
beating,
scoring game.
Yeah, Trevor's not winning in a shootout. Trevor's not winning in a shootout with Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's winning that shootout.
And then between the 49ers, Raiders, and Broncos, we'll win 1, maybe 2. That's 8 wins right there.
Yeah. You can maybe squeeze into the wild card.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, okay, yeah. Yeah. I
feel like our ceiling is like 12-5, and our floor is 5-12.
Floor, yeah. I think a reasonable way to go is like 8 to 9 wins, I'd say.
Yeah. Probably 8 just because, I'm leaning
New coach.
8. Yeah.
New coach. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how Trevor Lawrence looks with Liam Cohen.
He'll either look ridiculously good or ridiculously bad.
No in between there.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I had planned for the talk on this podcast. So if you have anything else you want to talk about.
Ooh, that's good. I don't know. There's hope for the Jags.
Yeah, there definitely is. I could see it.
Yeah, be a Jags fan. Woo.
No, this is the life you have when you're rooting for bad teams, like me with the Bears and you with the Jaguars. But
yeah, got to deal with the hard times and the good, like the 30-point playoff comeback. Never forget
that championship game you had in 2017.
He wasn't down. He wasn't. Miles Jack was not. Stop, dude. I was feeling so good.
Miles Jack, Jalen Ramsey. You got that whole squad going.
I'm still pressed. I'm still repping the Jalen Ramsey though. Never forget. I was
gonna ask what's
never
that
forget.
How many jerseys do you have? Is that the only one?
Of the Jags, I got this. And I got a Christian Kirk, but I should probably burn that considering he's going to the Texans. I don't know. I need to get another job.
My first ever jersey was Julius Peppers, and then he went to the Packers.
I did have a Brian Urlacher jersey.
I have Brian Urlacher jersey. I have Brian Urlacher, Khalil Mack, Jordan Howard. I loved Jordan Howard when he was on the team. And then Justin Fields.
That's like getting a Tariq Cohen jersey. That's like getting a Kyler Gordon jersey.
Tariq Cohen. Imagine Tariq Cohen in this offense with Ben Johnson.
He makes me wonder sometimes.
That would have been magical. It's too bad it can't happen.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for coming onto the podcast. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody listening right now, if it's our journalism lab, thanks for listening. Anyone else, also thank you for listening. Thank you for coming on. I would love to have you on again. Don't get me going, and I'll see you guys next time.